It is Saturday, the 21st day of March in 2026 at 1:55 p.m. Hello, I'm Aaron Wills. Welcome to my channel. As always, this is a random rambling video. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. I had a very interesting lunch today. The lunch wasn't so interesting as the happenings at lunchtime was. First of all, I'll tell you that the very first resident that I met here was a woman named Janice, whom I ultimately started calling Aunt Janice, just because we became friends, and I think at some point she pointed out that I was young enough to be her nephew, and I said, okay, then now you're my aunt, and so I started calling her Aunt Janice, and we really got along really well. I really like her. I liked her. I guess I still like her, but after this, it won't matter. So yeah, we became cool, and the reason I would get giddy about going down to the dining area at mealtime, not just because I like to eat, but because of the drinks, coffee and chocolate milk and water and juice and whatnot, but because I got to hang out with her and we would play the game Sorry on her iPad. Now, anyone who knows me from my pool playing days or my poker playing days knows that I'm a crybaby and a whiner at the table. The poker table, the pool table, and now I guess the sorry table. So yeah, I hate getting shit out on. I hate getting unlucky when, I'm a crybaby. I hate getting unlucky. And it's the same thing at poker, same thing at pool. I hate when my opponent shits out on me. When this has to happen, that has to happen, it has to go run or club or run or whatever for them to beat me at the poker table. It's frustrating when it happens, when they got like no shot of beating me and they get there anyway. It's frustrating. So I want to empower mainly to let people know that, they didn't do anything special. I don't know. I'm a whiner and I'm a powder at the poker table, the pool table, and now apparently the sorry table. So, what happened today was, when we play the sorry game on her tablet, there are occasional ads. And in these ads, as it often is the case, sometimes they'll use young, pretty female models. And that was no different. That was no different today. As these various ads would pop up, and they'd show these young, little hottie, 18-year-old, 20-year-old models, I would jokingly say, "She looks better than you." Just being silly. Of course she does. If she didn't look better than a 64-year-old, 300-pound woman, she would have no career. So I was just joking, saying, "She looks better than you. She looks better than you," and she's like, "Flip shit." She's taking it to heart. And then I was saying, she's like, "Oh, you have to point out how ugly I am." I wasn't calling her ugly. These little young models look better than probably 90% of the women in the world. Doesn't mean that they're ugly. There's a lot of very pretty women that these models look better than. So I wasn't calling her ugly. I wasn't pointing out her bad looks. As a matter of fact, I don't think she's ugly. She's not ugly. She's just no 18-year-old magazine model or, model. She's 64 years old now, and she weighs about 300 pounds. According to her, not me. That's not my guesstimate. I don't work at a carnival. I'm getting back to you. Sorry. I'm trying to look up the bottom of my cup of coffee. It's got sugar and creamer all caked on the bottom of the coffee. So I was saying, she's prettier than you. Things like that when a, sexy hot model would pop up. And she finally flipped out. She said, I know they are. Why did they point out? Why did they call me ugly? I'm not calling you ugly. I'm saying they look better than you as a joke. She's like, well, it's not funny. Then she started going, and she's like, I can tell you what you are, but I'm too kind. I'm too polite to do it. Like, tell me. And believe me, I'm not as sensitive as this woman. You can tell me whatever the fuck you want to about me. If it's true, I accept it. I already know it. Trust me, I already know my problems. I'm fat and I'm ugly. I understand that. And if someone were to say, hey, this professional hunk of a model, male model, is sexier than you, I'm not going to say, why are you saying I'm ugly? Well, no, these Calvin Klein models look better than me. That's why they're Calvin Klein models, and I'm a fat piece of dog shit living in a nursing home. I hear James Taylor calling from somewhere. I thought it's the actual James Taylor. Check. Oh, well, I used to have audio. I thought it would cut out. I don't know what happened. So I'm going to wrap up this video in case the audio does cut out, and I want to tell this whole story over again later. So that's really not the end of the story, though. There's more. There's more. No, there's more. So while she's flipping out on me about how she's, worked for over 60 years on, making her life better or whatever, accepting the fact that she's whatever she is or whatever, I said, well, I said then, because I am an asshole, I am a jerk, as she pointed out. I then said, well, you should have spent some of that time working on the fact that, you're too sensitive. And then she wanted to argue that she was too sensitive, really. You're crying because a model looks better than you. That's not being too sensitive. And she said, well, how would you like it if I point out how fat you are all the time? I'm like, well, it wouldn't bother me one fucking bit. And that's true. I bet I tell myself how fat I am more than anyone else could tell me how fat I am. I know I'm fat. I'm disgusting. Fat people are disgusting. I'm fat and disgusting. I admit that. I understand that, too. But it doesn't make me cry. Well, it does make me cry. My life in general makes me cry. Not just because I'm fat and ugly, and then will be lonely for the rest of my life. That's what makes me cry. But she's had her day in the sun. She's been married. She has 2 children. As a matter of fact, at the time she got married the first time, I think, or I guess she's only been married once, but at the time of her marriage, she had to decide between 2 suitors, one being rich. I don't think I've ever had 2 women after me at the same time. I certainly have never had 2 women wanting to marry me at the same time. I don't know if there's been 2 women in my life that have liked me. And there's not one woman that's been in love with me, I know that for sure. I challenge you to find anyone who will claim they've been in love with me. And then can prove that they've been in love with me. That they can say, find anyone who can say that they were in love with me and then not throw open their mouth after saying it. I'm quite certain no one's ever been in love with me. So if someone were to point that out about me, I'd be like, well, that sucks. I know it sucks. It does suck that no girl's ever been in love with me. If someone were to point that out, like they're flipping through ads and saying, that guy, I bet someone's in love with that guy, I'd say, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But that would be taking a shot at me. I wasn't taking a shot at her when I said these models look better than her. Of course they do. If a young 18-year-old girl doesn't look better than a 64-year-old, 300-pound woman, there's something wrong. I'd say most 18-year-olds are going to look better than most 64-year-olds, on average, in my opinion. What song is this? I know this song. Cause your love won't wait. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Yeah. That's the song that's playing. Like, I don't know who that is, but anyway, that's the song that's playing. So she's flipping out, crying, yelling, screaming about, I'm an asshole and I'm a jerk and how, we're not friends anymore. And I'm like, oh, yeah, boo fucking who? We're not friends anymore. I'm not friends with someone I have to walk on eggshells around? Oh, no. I don't even have to walk on eggshells around people because I'm too heavy to walk on eggshells. Literally and figuratively. So we're not friends anymore, me and this woman I used to call Aunt Janice. And she was flipping out, yelling and screaming. And so the whole dining room was looking at me like I'm an asshole, which I am. And I guess I am an asshole because I whine and cry. That was another thing she brought up, how, it's miserable playing games against me because I'm the sore loser. Well, I am the sore loser. I don't like losing. No one likes losing. If you like losing, you're an idiot. Well, she doesn't have to worry about liking losing because she never loses. She wins every fucking game we play. This is me whining and crying about it. Any number she has to roll, she rolls it every fucking time. If she needs a 3 to send me back to the home starting square, she'll roll a 3. Guaranteed. And when I whine about it, or when I say anything about it, like, man, every fucking time, or whatever I might say, she gets mad about it, gets all up in her feelings about it. Because she's the most sensitive person I've ever met. One of the first times I met her, she was in tears because the music was too loud. And roll out of here and leave. Don't cry. And she's crying because the music was too loud. And then she didn't like the kind of music they were playing. Well, then leave. They were having some kind of party. I agree the music was way too fucking loud, but I didn't care that I didn't know the music either. There's a couple songs I knew and liked, but the music was way too loud. I agree with that, but I didn't break down and cry. If I would have had too much of a problem with it, I would have just left. Even though I'm the type of person that's always afraid I'm missing something. So I might stick around because, I don't know, I might miss something. That's how I've been my whole life. My mother used to tell me that. You're always worried you're missing something. I am. So she flips out and made a big old fucking stink today about me, saying that these models look better than her. I wasn't even saying she doesn't look good. I'm just saying I was joking. Because of course these models look better than her. She's 64 years old and she weighs 300 pounds. That's what I thought was funny. I thought she'd laugh with me. I wasn't laughing at her. I thought we would laugh together about the fact that these models look better than her. Because they turned it around and, we were looking through Calvin Klein ads and they had all these hunks with no shirt on, just ripped. And she would say, that guy looks better than you. I'd say, yeah, he does. I certainly wouldn't flip out and cry and make a big scene and get everybody looking at me. And of course, the dietary people, we were in the lunchroom, dietary people come over and, are you all right? And she said, no, I want him away from me now. So the guy's like, come on, big boy, we're going to move over here, the table over here. She don't want to sit, she wants you sitting here. I said, well, this is my table too. He's like, well, she sits there every day. I said, so do I. He's like, well, she's been here longer than you, which is fine. That's fine. If that's her table, that's her table. I won't be sitting at that motherfucker no more. I don't give a fuck. I'll sit by myself. I don't need some fucking sensitive woman for me to enjoy my lunch. Although I did enjoy sitting with her and talking with her and playing games because she did her smack talking and I did my smack talking and it's fun. We had a little competitive, a little competition going on between us playing this game. Sorry, I'd win some, she'd win most of them. Because every number she needed, she would roll every fucking time. I am crying about it because it's true, it's ridiculous. I've never met anyone as lucky as her in my life. I also never met anyone as sensitive as her in my life. So she declared we were no longer friends, and she does not want to be around. She does not want to be around me. I'm not allowed to sit with her. This all stemmed from the fact that yesterday, she said a while back that Tom Hanks is a pedophile, and that he's mentioned in the Epstein files. So I looked into it, and he is not mentioned in his name does not appear anywhere in the released Epstein files. So we were playing trivia yesterday on her iPad, and one of the questions was, who played the title character in the movie Forrest Gump? which of course was Tom Hanks. I said, I pointed out that I looked into it and that Tom Hanks was cleared of all these allegations of him being a pedophile and being on the Epstein list, and being involved in the Epstein files. All those things were debunked, and he was, found clear of all that. But, once you start a rumor, you can't undo what you hear, and apparently that's the case with her. I told her, I said, yeah, I looked into that, and she's like, no, she's like, I don't care, I looked into it too, and he's a pedophile. He was, he's not, apparently he's not mentioned in the Epstein files, which can be proven, but she won't look into that, as I did. She just wants to say, oh, yeah, he's a pedophile. I'm like, I hate that. She's like, whoa. Why does it bother you? I said, it does bother me. I don't want anyone accusing anybody of being a pedophile if they're not. That's a big deal. But these people, I don't know, it all stemmed from a photo, it all stemmed from a skit on Saturday Night Live, I think it was, where his character was supposed to be, where the whole thing was a sexy babies. They were dressed in swimsuits, and him and his character were like, hey, that's a sexy baby. Just things like that. And it was just a skit on Saturday Night Live or wherever it was from. And so they used that to prove that Tom Hanks is checking out little babies. That's so stupid. But people like Janice believe that shit. And then once they hear it, they don't get it out of their head. That's it. Tom Hanks is a pedophile. He was on the Epstein. There's no mention of him on any of the flights, the Epstein flights, or in the Epstein files. But she won't look into that. She don't want to listen to that. She just want to listen to what she first heard. She just wants to have to admit the fact that Tom Hanks is a fantastic actor and a very good person. And she doesn't want to hear anything else because she heard her little story first. And she won't look into it. People like that don't look into shit. They just get it stuck in their head and then don't want to hear anything else. Because then they get offended if you try to tell them that what they've heard is wrong. That's what she has happened yesterday. That's what our argument yesterday was about. This lunchtime argument was about the fact I said that these supermodels look better than her. Well, guess what, Janice? They did. They do look better than you. There's nothing bad about you. You're done. That's it. You're 64 years old. You're in the, in the back nine of your life. No one's ever going to look at you as being a supermodel ever again. No one's going to look at you as being, sexy ever again. Sorry. You're 64 and 300 pounds. That's the same with me. Girls used to check me out. Girls used to think I was handsome. That's a long time ago. It was over 30 years ago. Or about 30 years ago. Those days are over for me. I'm playing the back nine of my life, too. I'm 52 years old in May. So, I know I'll never find a love. I never had love. There's girls I've been in love with, which feels good, but no one's ever been in love with me. So I'll never find a girlfriend again, much less love. I understand that. I can pray for it, and if God wants me to experience that, then He'll give it to me. So far, it's eluded me. Being loved, it hasn't eluded me. I've had people who have loved me, females who have loved me, but not in a romantic way. I know my mom loved me, my grandma loved me, my sister loved me. I don't know if I have any girlfriends who loved me. I don't think I had any girlfriends that loved me. Oh well, that's how it is. Maybe that's because, like she said, I'm a jerk. I need to grow up. I'm a jerk and a crybaby. No one can be in love with a jerk and a crybaby, can they? Well, I am a jerk. I'm possessive. I'm verbally abusive. And I'm jealous. That's the kind of boyfriend I am. That's why no one's ever been in love with me. And I don't know. There's a lot of things wrong with me. I can admit that. And I'm not too sensitive about it. Ooh, I can't stand when people are like she is. And then it's my fault all of a sudden. And she's not too sensitive. I was out of line. I was the asshole for pointing out that a fucking supermodel looked better than her. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, but if you're 20 or if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you don't look better than a 64-year-old fat ass, guess what? You're not going to have much of a career in modeling. That's just the facts, Janice. Live with them. Hopefully you're watching this. Live with them. Those are the facts. You're 64 now. You're not the young spring. Well, it's not spring chicken. You're not you're not who you were whenever when two people were vying for your hand in marriage. And she acted like I wanted to hear about her husband being a Greek god in the bedroom. And she was telling me how he can go all night. She said he's like the Energizer Bunny on Viagra, is what she said. Well, I don't want to hear about your fucking dead-ass husband, fucking you good. I don't want to hear anything about anybody fucking you good. I don't want to think about you fucking Janice. How about that? Oh, I did enjoy her company a lot. I won't deny that. I couldn't wait till it was lunchtime or dinner time or breakfast time to rush down there and hang out with Janice and play Sorry or whatever we were going to do, and then wait for my drinks to come and our food to come. Well, that's over, but I still will get drinks and stuff in the morning. They can't force me out of the dining room because that bitch doesn't want me at her table. Oh, I called her a bitch. I take that back. She's not a bitch. Well, she is, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to start calling her names. I don't know. I think I got the wrong end of the deal today. And I'm pissed about it. I really am pissed about it. But this is so silly. I mean, I've always, I don't know, I've always run into people, they're so sensitive, you have to walk on eggshells around them. I'm not going to do it any fucking more. I'm literally too heavy to walk on eggshells, and I'm figuratively too harsh to walk on eggshells. So, so you don't want to be friends anymore? Oh, fucking well. Good, I'll find something where I don't have to fucking walk on eggshells around. Where I can't joke with without them getting too sensitive. It's a joke pointing out that a fucking supermodel looks better than you, Janice. It's a fucking joke. Of course she does. If you really think that these models don't look better than you, you're fucking delusional. On top of being oversensitive, you're delusional. Of course they look better than you. That's why they get paid whatever they got paid. I'm sure they got paid decent money to be a model because they're young and they're very pretty and they got great bodies. You're not young and you're not very pretty and you don't have a great body. Those are all very true facts. I don't know. Whatever. How long has this been going on? Well, it's been about 23 minutes now. So I guess I'll hang it up now and I'm going to record. I'm going to hang this up and play it back. All right. Pizza rolls. See you when I see you. Peace out.